my goodness, there's a humpback whale blocking me from getting around this storm, and I cannot attack with a merchantman. Guess I'll try to go around it. And there we go. Interesting little pathing event. Alright, so we probably have about 3,000, not 3,000, but 2,000. Let's say we keep 500, 3,100 gold to spend. Some of that needs to be on tools. We are going to need, wow, we need only 27 tools to equip pioneers. What about provisions? We only need 27 provisions as well. Let's look here. I have a native mercenary and a colonial militia. So that's 2 more defenders. They can go 1, 2. I've got some more troops in Red Fox that can cover Boggy Bay. I don't think I necessarily need a soldier, but I don't think indentured servants that work as pioneers go straight to Hardy. They go through being free first. So this guy, either way, he's going to end up as a colonial militia. That's basically just the default path for my indentured workers is the army. I'll tell you what we need. We need a fisherman, we need a rancher. So let's grab the rancher first. That leaves us with about 1,100 gold to spend. Let's spend that gold on a fur trade. Yeah. You know what? Screw it. Fur trader. I wanted to start doing coat production. We might get another passenger ship in not too long as well. Alright, do I bring tools back home? It'd be 900 gold for a full load. Let's bring like... we could bring a maximum of 54. I think we'll go ahead and just take the maximum of 54. Alright, there we go, and she sets sail. Medical office is actually done in Boggy Bay. And we still have 55 lumber left to convert. Alright, in that case, what we need to address next might be the law and order. Now, I think we do some basic stuff, like we get a pier rolling, that's for sure. That'll help with our food issues here. And then after that, probably a market. This location is really just like a raw resource extraction location for now. Eventually, it might do weaving. Or it will do weaving. This is the cotton harvesting location. I don't want to have to shuttle the cotton somewhere else. Ships returned from Europe bring bad news. There have been outbreaks of the plague. So we need to build 5 hospitals. Gotcha. So there we go. Build 5 hospitals. That'll probably happen naturally at some point. Well, 5 hospitals? That'll take quite a while. I think that's like the 2nd level of the medical office. We've been challenged to trade more guns before anybody else. We'll see what happens. That might be a possibility. Yep, this village has also been visited already. That means that the Portuguese and the Spanish have already gone south, most likely. We need to head as far north as we can go. We have the flavor text for having a medical office finally. Let's go ahead and have a quick chat with our competitors to see how many settlements they have. We're in the lead and compared to the English. That's so weird to me. And we're also ahead of Portugal. That is nice. I'm very happy to see that. I have no idea how the AI is handling the pathing. Like, the pathfinding is a good algorithm, it works. Supposedly it has some minor, very small edge cases that have problems here and there. But thus far it's done well for me. Alrighty, we got that corn chamber built. Next up is probably going to be the town hall. I want to work on the higher tier buildings that we have available to us. Windmill would be pretty cool actually. I didn't find out about the windmill until I was playing a Swedish test run just for fun. And discovered that it makes all land tiles have +1 food. That's pretty nice, as if you're working a lot of land tiles to make it worth it. Although you don't have to work that many land tiles to make it worth it. Let's take a look at the health and the happiness and all that first though. Now health is at a +2, it's not terrible, so let's go ahead and let's start working towards the town hall here. We got some goods to offload as well, we'll do that right now. And then we shall pick up the rancher and the fur trader first. I'm not going to take the soldier, we don't need him quite yet. We have found a sea as still and peaceful as the sky for finding the Pacific Ocean. And we found a disillusioned missionary over here as well. Probably go have him meet up over here. I'm trying to make like a pickup point for treasures and stuff that my galleon's gonna do a little trip around the peninsula right here to pick them up and bring them back. We could get a really cheap choice of immigrant here. I'm probably going to pick the free colonist. I'd like to get a pioneer perhaps, but let's pick him now. And checking out our land, I do think that making this guy a pioneer makes sense. So let's do that right now. We have a triumph for having explored the Pacific Ocean. So we can get gold or gold and, well, just exploration points. So it's either gold and exploration points or exploration points. Let's take the gold. And we had our first homegrown baby, a free colonist in Red Fox. Our borders also expanded in Red Fox so that we have access to the pearls. If we build the settlement right here, we won't have to wait for the borders to expand. So that's something I need to definitely keep in mind for the future. It is getting really quite late for me, and this will be my last turn before I sign off. I really hope you guys have been having fun. I've been really enjoying the playthrough so far. We are technically behind the other two, but we are ahead in terms of settlement count. This free colonist, I'm really unsure what to do with him. I think training him to be a carpenter might be the way to go. In consideration of that, let's pull the roper out and let's put in the free colonist. I would prefer for the roper to be able to do his job, but in the meantime, let's have him make some coats. Seems we didn't have to go far to find more goody huts. We'll catch the ones over here to the west and head north. Looks like the Portuguese haven't explored very much yet. Yeah, going wise, I think I'm gonna save up for a passenger ship in not too long. I'd much prefer to get another passenger ship. We are still ahead in terms of settlements, which is nice to see. I think objectives after passenger ship is another pearl colony right here. And then after that is another pearl colony over here. Like I said, I think pearls are maybe a little too common. And then a settlement right here, of course, as well. And those settlements will actually be pretty cheap to put down. We have really cheap settlers. I think we're about to start, like, exploding in growth. If I can get enough gold income from the pearls, then I can settle more. And then I can build, like, churches and stuff to get immigration as well. And then hopefully we can start rolling some pioneers in not too long to start improving the land. Foreign affairs wise, we're doing pretty good. Sitting Bull is happy with us. We still have our defensive pact. Pine Leaf is a little upset that we've stolen their land because our borders expanded naturally. Nothing I could do about that. I would have paid had she asked. Or though, realistically, would I have paid? I don't know. Maybe. I do miss the old system in the original colonization where you could just click the tiles that the Indians own inside the colony screen. Maybe there's some kind of feature like that in We the People, but I don't think that there is. George Washington is cautious towards us, and the Portuguese are cautious as well. We do have open borders for some of that good happiness bonus. I think we're going to go ahead and ask the Crow for a defensive pact as well. So that'll improve our relationship more so that we can accidentally steal more land. But that should burn down over time. That negative modifier does go away. But that is going to have to be it for me. It is time for me to wind down. It is 11:47 p.m. I shall be back in just a moment. Alright, I'm back to make a little more progress on our Russia campaign. We're being offered, I think, 7 rubber for 28 gold. I'm not going to do that. We really don't have the cargo slots to afford small little transactions. Alright, our rancher and fur trader have arrived from Europe. Let's see if we can't get them to work. We have +1 health overall. Let's supply the rancher first. So that'll be 2 horses per turn. We're still at +1 health, so we can go ahead and fit in the furrier as well. Now the roper can maybe do something else with his life, but I also kind of think that we shouldn't do that. I think he's in a good spot for now. That'll do. We have 1,366 gold. I think I would like to save up for one more ship. That ship might be a Carrack, because it's a 4-slot ship, although it does only move at 4 movement. I think that's what we'll go with. We'll save up for the Carrack. We're being challenged to increase our population of 1 city to 20. That'll probably take quite some time, but I think those missions do give pretty good rewards. Oh, we got an Orthodox priest now. That free colonist learned how to do his job. Wonderful. Now we make 4 crosses per turn. What was it before? 2? Hey, we got another native. Wonderful. question now is what to do with him. So converted natives, they do +2 production of food, hemp, flax, silver, gold, gems, etc. They're quite good in general. We could maybe use this guy as like a substitute for another pearl diver, unless I've already gotten one. I don't think I have two. And we could colonize the next colony with him. That might not be a bad idea. We only need 16 tools for settlers, 16 horses, 24 wood, and 24 food. So we have the wood, we got the food. We technically have the horses, but that might reduce our production to +1 per turn. And we do have the tools that we need, because the town hall only needs 20 tools. Yeah, let's upgrade this guy into a settler at Red Fox and have him settle the northern colony. We discovered a failed trader. This guy's a little good at doing carpentry, but not really anything else. Also education, however. I think I want to send him to Boggy Bay. You know what, we might be okay on passenger ships. If I just send these guys back right now, we'll be able to pick up everybody no problem. In that case, let's leave the fur because we're eating up more fur than we produce in Red Fox. And then I think we'll head back as it is. We've got I think this is the 4th season scout, which went to the island, but it's now on the mainland. We have another season scout over here. They're going to basically clean up the southwestern landmass. Alright, we have about 800 gold that we could easily spend. Is there something that I'd like to spend that on? We could get a legitimate pearl diver. That would take us under 500 gold. But a legitimate pearl diver would be very nice. Be a lot of money. I think it makes too much sense. Let's pick him up. So the converted native in that case will not go north. We'll probably put him in Red Fox to fish. And he won't run away, thankfully. We just got a slave overseer positioned in Red Fox as we are coming by to drop off some furs and pick up some more stuff to sell, hopefully. And now our African man here is producing 10.8 food per turn because of his 40% slave production modifier. So yeah, it can be pretty powerful as long as you get the right units, but getting the units can be pretty expensive. We are going to need stone and clay for that town hall. I suppose we'll get it on the galleon when it comes back next time. That's probably what we'll have to go with. Alright, let's drop off our coffee berries. Let's pick up our hardy pioneer and our expert pearl diver and head on back. Wait, was that a hardy pioneer? No, that was a regular pioneer. Gotcha. We have 1200 gold at the end of 1560 AD. I'd really like to... Oh, the master roaster. I'll take you soon as the ship arrives. We'll pick him up. I was just saying that I wanted to get a roaster, and, well, there's one right there. We could probably pick up some more food supply, or better yet, I'd really like to start work on tool production. Tool production, stone production, clay production, now that we have horse production, so we can have all of our settler items. After that would be setting up the military, or arms production of at least muskets and gunpowder. So a blacksmith right now is 1200 gold. I could pay the money, or I keep the money, I risk losing it to the king, or have it for an event. I'd rather save it, so I'll save it for just a little while. Our men have found a deserted wolf cub in the wilderness. His mother is probably dead. Perhaps this young beast could be tamed or else sold to some crazy rich person. We could receive a wolf, or we could receive 100 gold. I think this is like a barbarian flag unit. Let's receive the wolf. I guess it shows up at the main capital. Oh, it showed up in Boggy Bay for some reason. I guess that was the closest settlement. So this wolf does not have black flag or anything like that. So it's pretty much just like a free scout. We'll send him out, possibly to die to this other wolf over here. We'll see what happens. So I've been doing some exploring down in this mountainous forested area with some scouts that don't yet have promotions really. And it has been tough. They've been moving like 1, maybe 2 tiles per turn. You really need some experience in scouting beyond just being a seasoned scout with a new movement system. Alright, our people have arrived. Let's sell all our goodies right here. Let's pick up a master blacksmith. Let's get everybody, I think, onto the boat right now, and we'll consider buying somebody else too. Because I'd like to set up in Boggy Bay. You want 51 gold for 17 coffee berries. No thanks. I'm not sure that'd even be a profit for us. Now Boggy Bay is not along a river, so we could not get the absolute largest tool producing building, but we could still go quite large. So I'm also going to need probably a medic, yeah, for Boggy Bay right away. And that is going to cost me the rest of my gold, 2,000 of it at least. Yep, renowned medic, 2,000 gold, get on my ship, and let's head on our way. Our expert pearl diver has arrived in Red Fox. Let's get them converted over into a settler. And then let's check the horse production real quick. Yeah, we're down to +1, that's too bad. We'll need to bring some horses on the galleon in addition to stone and clay. Now this pioneer that's on the ship, you will be a pioneer since you're a free colonist. I want them to go down to the ranch, or to build a ranch on the horses right here. I think that is extremely valuable for us. And our native has arrived. I'm wondering if he could do any good work up here in the north. He could chop lumber. They are better at chopping lumber just a little bit. And he could train to become a Siberian lumberjack. Alternatively, we send him to Boggy Bay and start picking some cotton. Or we send him to Boggy Bay to become a fisherman. I think that makes more sense. Let us do that. We got the event for first medical care because we now have a proper renowned medic. And we're being challenged to trade more silver before any other colonial nation. I don't think that'll happen. We'll probably get beat by the Portuguese. I'm sure they'll find some silver somewhere. Oh, I accidentally moved into a humpback whale as I was moving into the fog of war. My bad. Alright, so we cannot quite yet finish the town hall in Red Fox. Instead of that, we're going to work on maybe building a medical office. We are at +1 health. We don't quite yet need it. I think I'd rather get the roaster's house because we just had a roaster immigrate. So we'll be able to make coffee, and coffee is already demanded by Red Fox. We got the village market in Boggy Bay done. Next up, I think building a dock makes some sense here. No, wait, no, let's build... I'm being silly. We should build a blacksmith house next. And the pier is done in the Rusty Clam. After that, I think a village hall is the most sensible thing to do. Alright, time to settle Squash City. Sadly, we cannot settle any closer to Red Fox. What shall we call this particular colony? Well, it's going to be all about pearls, furs, and wood. Let's call it Roughneck. And in Roughneck, I think we need to kind of focus on building culture to reach the sources of fur to our north. So we're not going to go for pier because we're not going to fish, and this is not really going to be much of a harbor city because it is surrounded by a shallow coast. So let's get that village hall built. It seems that this land is blessed. We have the story right here if you'd like to read it. There you go. We found ourselves a disillusioned missionary. Let's see how long it's going to take him to get back to the settlements. 18 turns to get to Boggy Bay. It's not that bad. You know, with all the fog around here that is like constantly in the area, I almost feel like naming it Foggy Bay. Alright, we're getting the medic slotted in and the native into the fisherman role. We're going to have the colonial militia take over for the native mercenary that's standing in Boggy Bay. The blacksmith will get off the boat. Then I gotta think what I'm going to do with this hemp planter. That hemp planter might not make a bad choice for the island over here. But hemp farming is going to be a little while before it gets started up over here. Oh, we can also teach them here. Cool. Yeah, not too sure about this guy continuing to be what he is at the moment. We can grow some hemp down here, so we could settle this colony. I like that idea. Let's settle that colony with him. Eventually we'll move him to the island, but not immediately. If that's the case, then we'll use the colonial militia to set up that colony next. Unfortunately, I should be out of horses now, right? So I can't set up any more colonists quite yet. Actually, I can set up one right now. In fact, I do have everything I need. Alright, Mr. Blacksmith. If possible, we could have him build his house faster for us, but then we're going to need some iron income. We do have a village right here that teaches mining. I considered using the converted native to become an expert miner, but I really need the food from him instead. What we'll have to do is pick up somebody from Europe. Oh my goodness, a hardy pioneer, I have to take that. I feel like I have to. Might go with the vintager. Actually, the spice trader. I don't think we're very likely to get any spices on this run. Red pepper comes from hills on prairie terrain. We have a few hills or prairie terrain that we could do spice trading one day. What about the vintager? Do we have any grassland hills that we can grow grapes on? We do have quite a few of those actually. So the vintager we probably shouldn't get rid of. The roper, I might pull the plug on this guy. Train him to be a miner instead. Alright, we have a bunch of money to make. I'm not going to sell the gold immediately. I'm going to pull out of the Europe screen and see what happens first. Alright, so 57 gold for 19 peat. No, thank you. Young warriors thirst to prove their bravery in battle. 1500 gold. We don't have enough. We could pay half. Get some native mercenaries. 50% probability for a relationship penalty of -1. I don't really care about upsetting these dudes. Do I want to do this? Native mercenaries are pretty good. I do want to do this. So I'll take that, and then the church wants money. This sucks because something bad might happen as a result of not being able to pay. Can we go to the Europe screen? No, we cannot. Actually, if I go... Nah, I cannot access it no matter what F keys I press. That's too bad, we don't have the money. And, fewer faithful Christians choose to emigrate to our colony. Wonderful, I lost some progress, I bet. That's just great. I think I'm going to have one of the native mercenaries casually walk over to Roughneck to protect it. And we have our first promotion pick for the scouts that isn't Explorer or Forced March. I think I'd like to go with Medic. Yeah, let's take that. We found a mestizo pretty close to an expert indigo planter village, and we do need that eventually. So I think we're going to go ahead and get him trained in that. Alright, so we're at the end of the turn. I'm pretty sure. We're near enough to the end. My ships are going to be kind of tied up for the next couple of turns doing some logistics, picking things up. We're moving people around. So I think I actually do need another passenger ship. So with that in mind, let's dump all the gold on the galleon right here. Let us, of course, first remember to buy some clay. Let's buy... Yeah, let's go for 100 clay, 100 stone, 100 tools maybe? Yeah, 100 tools as well. No, we're about to start making our own. Expert miner? Not a bad play, but let's get a ship first. I think we want to go with the Carrack. It's the best bang for buck for a 4 cargo slot that you can get. We'll pick up the roaster, and then let's get the... Ooh, let's get the expert miner now, because we need the ore income. And then let's grab the hardy pioneer as well. These other people I don't really care that much about, although the free colonists we could train to do something. I'd really like if I could somehow... 50 provisions for missionaries. I'd like to establish more missions, but that costs 600 gold to equip a missionary. If we could make provisions, that would be pretty sweet. We'd need a baker, and we would need rice or cassava. There might be a third way to make provisions. Rice, cassava, and barley. Right, we do have access to barley right here. So we could do baking in Red Fox as well. In either case, I think we should head back with what we have and save up money for some specific specialists in the future, such as a baker. We did want to bring some more horses, didn't we? Yeah, let's buy as many horses as we can get. We won't have any money for events, but I really want to kickstart my horse production as much as I can. They make a lot of money if you sell them to Africa, and they're really useful for a lot of different types of mounted units. So we can buy 56, it looks like. So we click dragged right there to get this prompt to come up so that I can pick a specific number. Shift click and drag. Some people don't know that. I'm not sure it's written anywhere. It might be. But let's send this galleon back. Alrighty, roaster's house done in Red Fox. Might want to build that baker's house that I was talking about. Yeah, let's get that baker's house built. And we're being challenged to trade more stone than anybody else. We're probably not going to do that. Same thing with the horses. Clay as well, and Robert Carter provides 1 hardy pioneer, 25% more clay in all settlements, and 25% less time for improvements to upgrade to the next level. I think no. I bet that there's somebody that we really would prefer to get elsewhere. We might be able to get Vasco da Gama, but I don't think I really want him. Next up is Tome de Sousa, although he doesn't really impress me either. Exploration wise, the next dude would be Gonzalo Jimenez. He would give 2 expert prospectors, 2 hardy pioneers, and More gold when villages are captured. I don't think I want that. Oh, we have Ivan Alexandrovich Kustov. 1 small coastal ship, 2 food in every colony, +1 movement for small coastal ship and big coastal ship, and less cost of native land purchasing. I think he's a better choice. We have like no military points whatsoever. The English have quite a few founding fathers here. In any case, I don't think we take this guy, let's just ignore him. 352 gold for 88 furs at Rusty Clam. I can come to your village and buy them for 1 gold each. No thank you. Alright, Ivan Alexandrovich Kuskov. This guy's actually a little more reasonable. I do like the food in every colony, that is actually really nice. The movement for small coastal ships is also really good. I never really used coastal ships in We the People, although I should probably try to use them more often, especially with the new movement system, meaning that my colonies are really incentivized to be coastal. I think we do accept this guy, because we will be buying some more native land. Alrighty, time to set up another colony. You shall be known as... We got pigs here, we got deer, we got fish. It's a wetland, so it's a little bit like Louisiana. I do recommend visiting Louisiana or New Orleans or a number of those different places. But we should definitely name it something that is more in line with our other colonies. Let's actually name it River of Pigs. Alright, these guys, they do want culture to get to those fish pretty much as soon as possible. So I think we're going to go with... I'm not sure if we should do a chapel or a village hall. Let's do a village hall at first and then take a look at the health. Yeah, we're only at +2. That's not great, that's not bad. I do have a disillusioned missionary that I want to start having do some preaching. Probably in Boggy Bay once he gets there, so we won't worry about building a chapel in River of Pigs. We'll just build a village hall automatically. Now this guy, I want him to go, I think, back and forth doing some harvesting of lumber and carpentry. We're actually, I think, net negative on lumber supply, so we're going to need another Siberian lumberjack here in not too long. Alright, we did receive our small coastal ship. It has 2 cargo spaces. It moves 4. One before it moved 3 without that founding father, and it only has a strength of 2. So it can lose to like an animal, for instance. So I can use this guy to move some different types of cargo around as needed. That's another reason I don't really make a lot of use of the small ships, is because they can get destroyed by like random freaking animals. So I'm sitting here at the Rusty Clam wondering if I should take the cocoa leaves to Europe to sell with everything else we have on this merchantman. So what I'm doing is I'm wondering, do I have a domestic demand for cocoa leaves yet? And in fact, I do have a domestic demand for cocoa leaves in Red Fox, but it is only a demand of 1. But they do sell for 17 each, which is really impressive. The second issue is that there's no ships nearby to come pick up the cocoa leaves. By the time anybody came and got the cocoa leaves, there'd be more created. So I'm thinking that we don't take all of the leaves, but we take like 40 of them maybe, and leave the rest for the domestic market. We have shallow waters can be navigated for a small coastal ship. If you'd like to read it, here you go. I've never actually seen this one before. I'll read it personally for myself. Oh yeah, I think small coastal ships can also go up large rivers. We're being challenged to have 3 to get a reward. Interesting. Yeah, it has double movement in large river, so it has 8 movement points. That'd be pretty impressive if we had any large rivers that were connected to our oceans. But unfortunately, it does not look like we are graced with any large rivers on the eastern coast that are connected. Over here though, there's a few, but I don't think we're going to be colonizing that area before the game is over. Alright, we're offloading our clay, our stone, and our horses. Horse production has now gone up to 7. That is a fantastic number. As soon as that ranch gets built though, it'll be even faster. Let's see if we can't do that town hall now, and then finish it up with the baker's house, possibly in the same turn, possibly not. Alright, we have 1096 gold on hand. What do we want to do with that gold? Yeah, we do need to get a Siberian lumberjack to fix our little lumber, oh my goodness, lumber problems. So it's 800 gold. We'll pick him up right now. That does put us below the gold level for events, but I'm going to take the gamble. 84 gold for 28 coffee berries. No thank you. And hello there. It has pleased us to declare war on the King of England. We expect you to attack his colonies in the New World. Well then, we can say as you wish, declare war, maximum tax rate decreases.